Well, welcome back to the fuzzy logic class. Now we are continuing with the last topic that we are speaking now. In the last class, we have discussed about the generation of the crisp data from the given fuzzy data. So in that process, we have used a formula which is what called uh, the centroid formula. Z star is equal to integral of mu of z into z by integral of mu of z dz. So this is the formula which you have to remember compulsorily. The same formula you can use it for weighted sum average method, where we replace this integration by simply summation. Okay, so one example we did. So let us try to go with another example using a triangular function. There are two popular functions of representation in a fuzzy set. One is going to be trapezoidal, other one is going to be the triangular membership functions. So now we'll go with the triangular membership functions. Now let us imagine that these three are the fuzzy sets given to us, and these three fuzzy sets have been combined by using the union operation. So after union operation, we normally going to get a relational matrix, which is a union of all these three fuzzy sets. Now let us try to draw the once again. That means here, what are the various steps in this particular centroid method to solve for the crisp data? One thing is that we will be getting three different fuzzy sets from the three different fuzzy sets. You have to find out the union of three sets. That is the first step. So after you find out union of three steps, you're normally going to get the representation of the entire fuzzy set with respect to the mu, that is called membership function, along with its fuzzy set values z will be obtained. So after that, we have to find out the equations of all these straight lines. Then later on, after you find out equation, we'll be getting the equation for mu. Equation of straight line means what? We'll be getting equation for mu over here. Equation for mu over here. So what we can say is the procedure is going to be same for whatever may be the membership function given to us. So that means you have to simply perform the union of two membership functions. Then you have to simply go with the derivative part. Now this straight line method, finding out the equation between 2 points, because all of them we are normally going to get straight lines. So therefore we are simply going with the equation for straight line, and after that we are simply deriving it for the crisp set data. So let us try to go with this problem. So this is the last method that we'll be discussing in the unit number 4. So unit number 4 has got just 6 methods, and these 6 methods are very easy. So if you just practice 6 methods, you will be getting one short answer question, you will be getting one long answer question. So therefore this unit is going to be 100% going to be a scoring unit for all of us. So only thing is you have to practice more these methods. So that's all. So once you practice, things are going to be easy for us. So let us start going with solving the problem now. So first fuzzy set C1 is extending between 0 to 3 with a maximum value at 1.5. Second fuzzy set is varying between 1.5 to 4 at a maximum value of 2.5. And third fuzzy set is varying between 3 to 5 with a maximum value at 4. So when you combine all this with a maximum value at 4 of the fuzzy set, and here the maximum membership function for C1 is 0.5, maximum membership function for C2 is 1, maximum membership function for C3 is going to be equal to 0.2. So what is important is the starting points. Here it is starting with 0, C1, C2 is starting with 1.5, C3 is starting with 3. So 0, something like, 1.5 and 3. So that means 0, 1 is starting at 1.5, another one is starting at 3, another one is starting. See, at 3, this last set is starting. At 1.5, this set is really happening, ending at 3. Right, this set is starting at 0 and ending at 3. So like this, by simply combining all this, what is the resultant union of these three sets we are going to get? This is what the membership function will be getting, which is the result of union of all those above three sets. So now what is so important here, whatever may be the problem it is given to us, what is so important is that you should locate the points appropriately. That is the issue here. So in order to locate the points appropriately, we are using the graph sheet. If imagine if graph sheet is not there, it is very difficult to locate the points. See here the points for E and F. E is here, F is here. It will be coming around 3 point approximately 9, and it's going to be 4. They are very close now. That means if you don't use graph paper, locating such a close points becomes really a problematic for all of us. So therefore, it is better we normally draw these figures on the graph paper. Then the things are going to be easy for us to locate the values both on the member function as well as on the x-axis. On both sides, we can able to really on both sides we can able to really represent them. Okay. So now let us look into this now. Z star is equal to integral of mu of z dz by integral of mu of z dz. We can write. Now let us try to find out. Okay, so first of all, find out the values at various points. So after we get this graph, let us try to indicate the point. Starting point is A. Let us suppose earlier we have taken starting point as 0. Then we have started with A, 0, A, B, C, D, like that. Now here I am starting with A. It is up to us where from we start, doesn't matter. So I am starting with A. This is B, C. This point is D, E, F, G. These are the points that we normally going to get. Okay. Now, what is the value? What is the x coordinate and y coordinate of B? X coordinate is going to be 1.5. Y coordinate is going to be 0.5. Okay. So that is the maximum value of the first set. Then let us come to C. What is the x coordinate of C? It's going to be around 1. Up to here it is 1.5. And it's going to be around 1.56, something like that you're going to get. So some value here, 1 point nearer to 2. Okay, so nearer to 2 we're going to get. That is what for C value. C is going to have 1.95. Yeah, nearer to 2 means what? Around 1.95 we got here per C. Then what is y coordinate of C? That is also very typical. We will be getting as 0.38 for y coordinate. That means the membership function. The membership function value is going to be 0.38 for C, and the fuzzy value at point C is going to be equal to 1.95. Similarly, at D, membership function value is equal to 1, and x coordinate is going to be equal to 2.5. And similarly at E, what is the value at E now? This is going to be around 3.8. Up to here it is 3.5. Then it is going to be 3.8 approximately. And what is Y value here? Y is going to be here. It's going to be 0.15. So around the middle of this, we're going to get, which is equal to 0.15. So E is equal to, we'll be getting 3.8 and 0.15. Similarly, F value is equal to 4 comma, this value is 0.2. 4 comma 0.2. And G value is equal to 5 comma 0. So these are the various values that we can normally locate over here. Okay. So let us start going for solving for the equation of straight lines for various points. So wherever you don't have constant lines, there you have to solve for the equation of straight lines. Now in this case, if you see carefully, line AB is a straight line. Line AB is having a slope. BC is having a slope. CD is having a slope. DE, EF, all these lines are having slopes. Therefore, we have to compulsorily find out the equation of straight lines for all these various lines between AB, BC, CD, EF and FG. So let us start going with the same procedure, whatever that we discussed in the previous session. What are the points A we are having? A is having 0 as the x coordinate, y is also 0. What is B point? B is x is equal to x coordinate is 1.5. Y quadrant is equal to 0.5. Y quadrant is equal to 0.5 for B. Sorry, this is B, no? B is here. Y quadrant is equal to 0.5. X quadrant is equal to 1.5. So 1.5, 0.5. Now what are the interval? What are the values of interval for the Z? It is going to 0 to 1.5. So 0 to 1.5 are the interval values here. So let us solve for this equation of straight line. Y minus y1, y minus 0, x minus 0 is equal to y2, that is 0.5 minus 0, 1.5 minus 0. So finally we'll be getting this equation as something like 1.5 y is equal to 0.5x. And next we solving this, we get y is equal to 0.33x. Now this is what the generalized equation of a straight line. So we have on the y-axis mu, on the x-axis we have say z. So therefore we represent this y, we represent y with mu, x with z. So therefore mu is equal to 0.33 z, we can write it over here. Then for BC, what about BC? This is BC line. So B is same as B over here for AB line. It's going to be 1.5 and 0.5. What about C? C will be equal to 1.95. So this value will be getting as 1.95, because each subdivision is nothing but each division is equal to 0.5. 0.5 divided by 10, 0.05. So 0.05 into this value we're going to get around 0.8. So I'll be getting this approximately 1.95. And what about y value? It will be coming as around 0.38. So we'll be getting 0.38. Right. So you should use the graph values carefully. Here I have taken every unit is equal to 0.1. Every unit is taken as equal to 0.1. Okay, like that we have just did it. You can do it 2 units is equal to 0.1. So it's up to us, but that much is not required. So I have taken every unit is equal to 0.1 here in this graph. So in taking whatever units you will take, but the end result of y is equal to 0.33x would be definitely equal to same. And these limits are also going to same. Points are also going to same. Only thing is the scale is either going to get enlarged or it is going to get diminished. It is all depending on the scale you normally going to consider here. Then for BC, point is 1.50, C point is 1.95, 0.38. Same formula we use. Y minus y1 by x minus x1 is equal to y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. Using the same formula, we can write y is equal to minus 0.26x plus 0.9. Then for CD, C is C of 1.95, 0.38. D 2.521 I can have. So y minus y1 by y minus y1 by x minus x1 is equal to y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. Y minus y1, this is x1 y1. So y minus y1 by x minus x1 is equal to y2 minus y1, 1 minus 0.38, 2.5 minus 1.95. So by solving this equation, we'll be getting y is equal to 1.12z minus 1.81. So therefore I can replace this y with mu. Mu is equal to 1.12z minus 1.81. Over the limits 1.9 to 2.5. CD is extending between what points here? 1.95 to 2.5. This is 2.5. Between this and this, CD is extending with respect to x-axis. Then next for DE, let us go for DE now. What is DE? See here, D x coordinate is equal to 2.5, y is equal to 1.0. E means what? X coordinate is 3.8, y coordinate is equal to 0.15. So therefore, we can just simply substitute here, and it is extending between the limits 2.5 to 3.8. So this is 2.5 to 3.8. DE is extending between 2.5 to 3.8. So this is what the thing which we have written over here. 2.5 to 3.8. So once again, apply the straight line equation. This is x1, y1, x2, y2. By substituting all that, we'll be getting y is equal to 0.65x plus 2.635. So we replace y with mu, we replace x with z. Thereby I can write mu is equal to 0.65z plus 2.635. Exactly similar procedure is applied for EF. So EF is equal to E of 3.8, then 0.15. F will be equal to, see, this is very close proximity. EF, if you see carefully, EF is very small. EF is very small. E quadrant is equal to 3.8 comma 0.15. F is equal to 4 comma 0.2. So they are simply in a very close proximity, E and F. So therefore see the x quadrant 3.8, for F it is 4. Here it is 0.15, it will be simply 0.2. Over the limits 3.8 to 4 it is extending. So let us apply the same formula now, equation of straight line, and by doing so we'll be getting mu is equal to 0.25 z minus 0.8. So that's the equation that we will be getting here. Then for FG, FG means what? The last straight line FG. So F is going to be previous one only, 4 comma 0.15 are the coordinates of F. G coordinates are going to be 5 minus 5 comma 0. Over the limits 4 to 5 is for FG. So let us try to find out the formula for FG. When you find out the formula for FG, y minus y1 is equal to y2 minus y1 formula, we will be getting the equation y is equal to minus 0.2x plus 1.0. I can write this as equal to mu is equal to minus 0.2z plus 1.0. So once after we get the straight line equations along with the limits for all the lines, then simply use all these in the formula given to us for numerator as well as for the denominator. So you can simply write this particular equation. Integral of first one is extending between what limits? 0 to 1.5. And this equation, integrate this equation over the limit 0 to 1.5. Then BC, integrate this relation over the interval, this equation between BC over the interval 1.5 to over the interval 1.5 to 1.95. Okay, that is what called BC things we're going to have. So 0.15 is something like this, then 1.5 to 1.9 is this equation. Similar to that, everything we normally going to write. So we get a numerator in the previous, using the same formula, we extend it for all the straight lines over the given limits. And we will be simply getting this particular equation. The next denominator part is what? Simply we write mu, integration of only mu. So this z part is simply dropped. This z is dropped in the denominator equation. So same equation we'll write once again by dropping z here. That becomes the equation for the overall area of the membership function on the denominator part. Now you have to solve this numerator independently, solve this denominator independently. So once you solve these two, we'll be getting these values like this: 21.2738 by 7.539. These are the things which we'll be getting. All right. So this value, what defuzzification value, what we'll be getting here is around 2.82. So 2.82 is the defuzzified value for this entire fuzzy set. That means a fuzzy system has generated this fuzzy value, and defuzzified system has converted this fuzzified value into a defuzzified value of around something like 2 point something. We have got how much? 2.82. So 2.82 means 2.5 here, 82. That means it is somewhat closer to the maximum value only we have got. So when you go back to the previous one also, approximately we got this value as around 2.835. So 2.835 means, if you see this carefully, 2.835. So approximately somewhere here we got this value. Okay. So that means here two values like this we be getting, which is nothing but the crisp data from the given fuzzy data. So all these are the methods normally used for the defuzzification process. So using defuzzification, what we did, we have simply converted the fuzzy data into the CRISP data. Now, next topic is going to be unit number 3. We'll move on to unit number 3. Some of the topics are left intentionally because I thought of covering unit 4 first. Why? Because they are containing the methods, defuzzification methods, which are very, very simple and easy to solve. Therefore, that has been covered first. And few topics are left over in the unit number 3. We are covered with the membership features of membership functions. So it has got basically 3 features as we discussed, as going to be core, boundary, okay, and support, and they can be represented like this. These 3 are the basic features of the membership function. So usually we try ourselves to be more close to the core value in general, and even if it is normally going to be in the range of support also, we'll consider them as going to be the members of the fuzzy set, and boundary is going to be one more feature under consideration. So boundary is always going to lie between 0 and 1 and 0, either way around. Core is only going to have one value, and support is going to vary between 0. Core value is always going to be greater than or equal to 0. So support is going to be always greater than or equal to 0. Mu of x should be greater than or equal to 0 for support feature. Core means what? Mu of x should be equal to mu of x should be equal to 1. Coming to boundary, the mu of x is always going to lie between 0 and 1 with modulus values. So thereby we can say that they are going to be the basic features of the fuzzy set. So this we discussed in the last class. And some more topics which are mentioned in the unit number 3 is going to be known as the fuzzification. So what is the meaning of fuzzification? It is simply conversion of CRISP data into the fuzzy data, is known as the process of fuzzification. So that is what a simple definition which we have already given. The next one is going to be the methods of membership value assignments, known as intuition, inference, rank ordering, and lambda cut rules we don't have in the syllabus. And we have neural network methods. These are the methods we have in the syllabus. Okay, neural network is not given here, but that is there in the syllabus for us. So therefore here, what we are going to have is something like intuition. So intuition means what? It is a human understandability level representation, is known as intuition. Okay. And inference means what? We have to deduce one formula. We have to simply deduce one formula based on some mathematical relationships, is called intuition. Rank means what? We normally allot some rank to each and every member based on its position and values, and accordingly we normally going to find out we assign the value to the membership value. So like that we normally going to deal with this particular unit in general. Okay, so in the next session what we do is we'll try to complete unit number 3 by simply covering the methods of membership value assignments. This is what the topic which is left over presently. So that topic, by covering that topic, we'll be covering unit number 3. So after we cover unit number 3, we left over with unit number 5, so that we can simply cover in 3 to 4 sessions. Thank you very much for the today's session.